Mark, 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-464-1806. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds, stations. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, live from Acme Oyster House. Welcome to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood. The Mike Bloomgren Show is brought to you by The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716, lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. Now, alongside Coach Bloomgren, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Welcome back. Thank you, folks out in Flux tonight. The Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House. Here's the Red Beans and Rice University. Acme Oyster House, proud sponsor of Rice football. After the game, come join us for a fried seafood platter, shrimp po' boy, or a dozen char-grilled oysters. Acme, the best little oyster house in Texas. I had to go with the meat pies again, duh, but also going out on a limb here with I love the Boom Boom Shrimp, so we'll go with some Boom Boom Shrimp tacos. After the fact, Walter's got some shrimp of the fish of the day coming up. Even a salad on the side. Walter doing things right. But they got some great grub, obviously great oysters, and great seafood grub here. The best little oyster house in Texas. 1201 Westheimer here, down right almost towards Montrose there. Right in the thick of things. Great crowd here again tonight. They've got a nice bar area as you come in. They've got a private party area should you so choose to take advantage of that. They got the Oyster Bar and the Mammoth TVs here for Monday Night Football, Astros, Owls, and the like. It is a great setup here on the show here tonight. We obviously have Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach Mike Bloomgren coming up in the next segment where we break down that game against the team across town. It was a heartbreaker down in the end, and we'll break it down coming up in that next segment. And it is a corners type of night. We've got the pride of Terrytown, New York. Did I say that right, Jordan? You say it Terrytown, is that right? Yeah, not yet. We got Coach first, but I think I said that right. But, Jordan Dunbar on the show, the one and the only pride of Austin, Texas, Sean Fresh. Sean, looking forward to it. Got your YouTube folks already storming our YouTube channel here. And that's open as well on the Facebook and YouTube streams. We're on the Varsity Network app, the Rice Owls Game Day app, and riceowls.com as well. Coming up this weekend, make sure you get your tickets if you have not already. Rice and UAB, checking that weather forecast. I'm not going to lie, should be a little bit of a cooler one, but that nighttime kick coming up, nothing like it. I got interim head coach Bryant Vinson bringing his UAB Blazers into town. And they just had the off week, but they've got some talent on both sides of the ball. Coach and I will talk about them at the end of the extravaganza. But stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll talk with the boss man back at Acme Oyster House. More of the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield. Back in one moment.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the Talking Spokes Oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. You know, we oysters like our beds. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Build it, price it, own it. Shoppers and John Deere makes it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get the John Deere tractor of your dreams. Number 1, go to shoppers at sfstractor.com. Select the John Deere tractor you want, add the attachments you need. Number 2, select your terms, see the price along with monthly payments, and apply for financing. Number 3, buy your John Deere tractor from Shoppers, and Shoppers will deliver it for free. Shoppers makes it that easy to purchase your John Deere tractor. Build it, price it, own it. Only at Shoppers. All things John Deere.
We interrupt your top 40 hits to issue this alert from the Carbach Brewing Company. In our efforts to brew our distinct and popular Hopadillo IPA, we have unwittingly created a monster with an insatiable thirst, a monster that will not stop until it gets what it wants, an ice-cold Hopadillo IPA, just like the one I'm holding in my hand. Bold, flavorful, dry-hopped, irresistible, sweet and berry. Hopadillo. Find it before it finds you. Bravely brewed in Texas by the Carbach Brewing Company.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now, let's go back inside Acme Oyster House.
Acme Oyster House, yes, indeed. Every Monday of a game week, we are here to talk some Rice Owls football. That means no show coming up this coming Monday. We'll give you the week off, but we want you out here still as well. Get some great grub here at Acme Oyster House. Rice football also brought to you by Carbach Brewing Company. Now with fifth-year head coach of our Rice Owls, Dunleavy Family Head Football Coach Mike Bloomgren. Coach, how are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Good. Let's start with the obvious, that insane ending against the Cougars. And with that last drive coupled in there, you probably could not have. I'm sure their college football is littered with them, but as far as games we've had the past few years, that's been as wild as a last 3-4 minutes of a game. So kind of walk us through that if we even have time in the rest of the show to get to all that. It was pretty wild.
It was. I mean, you talk about the last, you say 3 or 4 minutes, but the last 24 seconds getting the ball on the 6-yard line was pretty impressive. But, you know, it's what we talk about. We talk and break it down all the time. The Rice fight never dies. And I thought that was certainly showed that to be true. And so you look at that game and, I'm so proud of so many things from it. I'm so proud of the way we stood toe-to-toe with them. We took a lead in the fourth quarter, and we had opportunities to go win the game again. I know some people say, like, we didn't lose, we ran out of time. I just don't buy that. Like, we had 60 minutes that we could have won that game in and had opportunities to do so. And that's a big step. That's a big step from certainly a year ago, and we just need to take the next step. And that's what I'm excited to see us do. But you talk about that sequence of events from them getting the ball back with 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I believe, and we had one timeout left. You know, we had a chance to go in the defensive huddle, and we said, look, get the ball back, get the stop. We'll use the timeout. We'll give our offense a chance. I don't know how much time they'll have, but we'll give them a chance. And that's exactly what those guys did. They had a run for one. Quarterback kept it and gained about 8, and you had George Nyakwa come off a block, and then Trayshawn Chamberlain make sure he didn't get that first down. Both of them kind of converged on it and had some good contact on Clayton Tune. And then 3rd and 1 to end the game, all they got to do is get a first down. Our defense stood up. You saw the line of scrimmage move, everybody go back, and then Aiden Ciano step up and make a tackle and make sure he doesn't get that yard. Then you go through some gymnastics with the punt team and a few things like that. That was kind of elongated, maybe that sequence that you mentioned. Yeah. But then they punt the ball, we get it, and a chance to go down the field and score. It's what you always talk about. It's what you dream about. And so first play, you hit Bradley Rosner on the sideline. Next play, you hit Isaiah Esdale down the middle of the field. You know, I think we clock it, and we have 8 seconds on the clock at the minus 41-yard line. Call Hail Mary. And the only thing in my mind at that moment, I was like, shoot, we're going to do this. You know, we're going to do this. It's going to be just like App State. We're going to get the ball, catch it, find a way in the end zone. Roz makes a great play, catching it, falling to the ground, and then there's 1 second left. And Houston actually helped us out. They called a timeout and made it easier for us to get a play organized. And on that last play, we didn't have the protection we wanted. Weren't able to give TJ the time, but TJ was a champ, man. He stood in there, knew the hit was coming. He stepped into the throw, and he tried to give us a chance to win that game. And I say win the game because we were going to go for 2. And, so we were going to try to – we were in it to win it, man. Like, we weren't going across town to tie and keep that thing going. I don't know if my heart could have taken overtime anyway. So we were going to go for it, and we were going to win the game.
And the college rule being before that last 9-yard pass attempt that the clock obviously stops to move the chains if they don't call the timeout. Do you think that play, or is it like, I don't know how the timing mechanism in football, because there's no play clock. So what would have happened?
Luckily, they had went to review anyway. Yeah. So it was more than just move the sticks. And so we knew we had time to get it organized. We told TJ, hey, let's get in 3-by-1 and run 4 verts. And got the protection organized, and we said, we got to snap it on the whistle. And as simple as that sounds, we'd never worked the mechanics. So that's now something that's going to be on my laundry list for training camp every year. It's a situation that doesn't come up. In 25 years of coaching for me, I don't know if Coach Wilcher's ever seen it. But the way it works is everybody's got to be set. The center, as soon as he hears the referee blow the whistle for play, he snaps the ball. And that's how you ensure you get that play. But as I said, Houston made it a little easier on us by calling the timeout. So thank them for that. Made my job easier.
And then backing it up, even before that, there was a controversial review or play call, however you want to term. Yeah, just a couple, Coach.
Okay.
The 11-yard fumble return by Caesar. Your show, your name is on it, so you can take this however you will. I thought, obviously, as a lot of Blue and Gray fans in here thought it was a bad sequence, but how did you see that, and what did they tell you about why it was ruled the way it was?
Well, gosh, JP, that's a hard question to answer in a politically correct way. The first play, they said the ball touched our guy and went out of bounds on the opening kickoff. And it went between his legs and never touched him, and it should have been a touchback. Okay, that's very clear to see on film. The play to Dell to start the third quarter, his right foot hits the pylon, and the ball is caught out of bounds. We all know the pylon goes around the world, but if the ball doesn't cross in it and you hit the pylon, which is out of bounds, you are out of bounds. So I'm just telling you football rules. I don't want to talk about what they told me. And then the one we know is if a ball is going forward in the quarterback's arm, it does not have to continue. If it starts forward, it is a forward pass and thus an incomplete pass. And they saw it differently than I did, apparently.
And the nature, not to keep harping on it, but Nate and I talked about it ad nauseum because there's a long time, but the way that rule is now, and you see it in the NFL level too, they're going to let that play go, right? So that is almost against the team where the review would go against. In this case, it was us.
Yeah, but when you got 5 cameras and plenty of people to review it and plenty of options, we should always get that right. But you know what, JP? In spite of all of that, we had a chance to win this game. And that's what's really cool. Our guys kept fighting. There's times where if we had had a strip sack fumble, we would have tucked our tails and sacked our bats and went home. And that's not what this team's made of. This team went out there and got the stops, just like La Tech last year, got us the ball back and gave us a chance to do something special. So I'm so appreciative for the way these guys are fighting, the way they're sticking together. Nobody's passing any blame. Nobody's even blaming the officials except for maybe me. But I'm past it too. I'm ready to move forward and talk about things that we can do to get better. That's really what we did today. And then we had a great practice, because we're excited about our conference opener this week. And I think all these guys are. You'll hear from them in just a second.
And on the offensive side, TJ's hot streak continued. 334 yards, saw this nugget today. That first owl since the great Dreyfus Jackson back-to-back games, 300 yards. And not just discuss that, but how he stepped up. And that's not a soft defensive line by any means. I mean, he took some hits, but not even coming back from that one bad play. But he just kept going and definitely have a good gunslinger back there, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think all of our team trusts him, and it's so easy to play when your body feels bad, when your quarterback's getting hit like that and getting up. When he's that mindset of a leader, a mindset of just a fighter. And when he's doing it, it makes everybody else just be like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And like I talked about, that last play, there were several plays where he just stood in the pocket, knew it was coming, and was doing everything he could to deliver a ball to help our team. And so I love the fighter mindset. I love what he's doing. And I do love 300 yards plus in 3 straight games. I'd like to make it 4 this week. I think he's doing some really cool things.
And had some guys catching it too. Rosner with that Hail Mary went over the 100-yard mark. Luke McCaffrey had another really good game. What can you say about that combo? But Isaiah Esdale too, a lot of great plays to move the chains too. What do you think about the receiving core?
Yeah, I think that obviously Luke and what Roz are doing is really special. Like, we've never had 2 dudes that could affect a game like they are right now. And they're hard to cover for very different reasons, and that's really cool. Like, just think about the play that they jumped off sides on. And, TJ knew they did, so he was going to give Roz a chance down the field, throws it up there, gives him a good ball. Roz comes down with that 50-50 ball, which he seems to do, 80-20, 90-10, whatever it is. And we get the ball on the 2-yard line, and we punch it in. You let us go to goal line right now. I told the team this today. I don't know if anybody in America wants to play the Rice Owls on offense or defense in a short yardage situation because it ain't going well, So you give us that opportunity to put the ball on the 2, and we punch it in. So I think Roz is doing a great job there. Luke is really hard to cover. Luke is making play after play, and he still has a couple things that he's got to keep growing in because he's going to be absolutely dominant when he gets there. And Isaiah Esdale, he got rolled up on. He played through an ankle injury the whole time. He's got a rib injury. He's a warrior. He's a warrior mindset guy that I just really appreciate right now. So the combination of all 3 of those guys, and then the 4th one came in the game and affected the game very positively with, I believe it was a 34-yard reverse and a big catch across the middle. And Kobe Campbell, he came in, a little Hightower product and making plays for us. So all those guys are doing a great job.
And inside the red zone, Ari Broussard, 2 more touchdowns, 4 straight games. They scored. He's got 6 on the season, 9 on his career. He's tough to tackle inside the 20.
He really is. He really is. He's running behind his pads, and those guys are doing a great job in front of him, especially Jerry Johnson.
On the defensive side, Chris Conti had some other good games, but this is a season high. He had 11 tackles. Linebacking core, Myron Morrison, the local kid, he had his first career pick. It seemed like a better game for the linebackers this time around.
Yeah, I thought they played really good. And I really think Conti with those 11 tackles and what he's doing sideline to sideline and his ability that doesn't go in the stat sheet to cover people and make it really difficult for them down the field, I think it's been really cool.
A football dummy question, so to speak, because I always think of guys adjusting from one school to the next on the offensive side. When you come defense, there's obviously a lot to learn in the scheme, but he comes from Rutgers and had played a lot of other big boy football. Like, is that an easier transition? I never want to make it seem too easy, but he seems to have acclimated himself nicely.
Yeah, I think that's a great question for Chris, but he has acclimated himself in very nicely. I think the team has really bonded with Chris and made him feel welcome. That's something he told me from the moment he got here. Is like, I just can't believe how nice everybody's being to me and how they're welcoming. But Coach Smith's defense is not easy. I think he does a great job making it likable and learnable, but it is still an NFL. It's a Sunday scheme, and so that NFL curriculum we talk about all the time. So there's still going to be a learning curve. I think Chris is making good strides in it, and you're seeing the production continue to increase week in and week out.
How about special teams? Old CVS, Christian Van Sickle had a career high 42-yard, and then he matched it with passed it with a 43-yarder later. It seems like range getting better and some good confidence in him, right?
Yeah, he's really taken advantage of those opportunities. Our whole special teams have just been fabulous. They really are. Like when you look at Tim Horn doing a great job putting kicks in places in the first half where we could go make plays, and in the second half kicking all three out the back of the end zone for touchbacks. Those are awesome, not having to cover another offensive play, if you will. And then what we're doing in the punt game, our guys are just covering incredibly well. Dell is such a dynamic punt returner. And for us to bottle him up the way we did, I was just really impressed. I thought our whole operation, and Houston's got one of those ferocious punt rushes. And on the second punt of the game, they chose to come after us. And our blocking unit did a great job holding up, got the punt off under 2 seconds, and then we covered the heck out of it. So that's really good stuff.
All right, lastly, talk about the cornerbacks. We're spotlighting them tonight. Discuss Coach Wilcher, your ties to him, but also we got Sean Fresh in the house and Jordan Dunbar. They've really locked things down on both sides early on this year.
Yeah, I actually have to think about like how Coach Wilcher came to be, because he's been with me for 5 years now. And we're both getting old, so I got to remember that story the right way. But it's actually pretty simple. He coached Coach Smith at UMass.
That's right.
And was on that staff at UMass when they won a national title. And then the story that's really unbelievable, because he looks younger than Cedric Calhoun, is he recruited Cedric Calhoun to Moorhead. And so two guys we already had on the staff. We were rocking and rolling through the hiring process and got Coach Wilcher in here. And Brian said, this is the guy I trust. This is who I want. And it's just been great ever since.
And how about what Fresh and Dunbar have done so far with the whole unit, too? I mean, you go good 4 or 5 deep there.
We do, but right now it really is Fresh and Dunbar.
Really?
Lamont Narcisse is getting about 10 to 15 plays a game, and many of those are coming at nickel. Like, it is Fresh and JD every snap locking down those receivers. And when we say those receivers, we're talking about the guys at Houston that was supposed to be the best receiving group in the AAC, period. We're talking about USC, which has the best receivers, you can acquire, or whatever the saying is, or however we're supposed to say it now. And like what these guys have done this year, it's changed our defense. It's allowed Coach Smith to be so much more creative. So their experience, their confidence, what they're doing right now is just phenomenal. And I'm so pleased that those two are out there. I'm so pleased they're playing at the high level they are. JD's one of those big corners, man. Like, he's one of those guys that, he looks like a NFL corner from day one in pads, right? You see him out there, and then he just puts his hands on people, runs them out of bounds, makes plays on the ball. Sean is so sudden. Like, Sean, we were joking about it today. Somebody said they're faster than Sean Fresh. There's nobody on our team faster than Sean Fresh. There's just not. Like, Sean can roll. And you see that when he gets that punt in his hand. He's our punt returner. So two dynamic guys that are very different body types at corner, but they're getting very similar results right now. We're really pleased with them.
All right, Coach, go get that grub. We'll talk Blazers later on, okay?
Sounds great.
Dunleavy family and football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. More coming up. We'll talk to that aforementioned Jordan Dunbar. Coming up next, this is the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Build it, price it, own it. Go online and see Shoppers and John Deere's new way to get a John Deere tractor just the way you want it. Google Shoppers John Deere and let your John Deere tractor story begin. Build the tractor you want with the attachments you need to get your work done. Price it. No hidden costs and financing options available for any budget. Own it, and Shoppers will deliver your John Deere tractor. Build it, price it, own it. It's Shoppers' new way to get the John Deere tractor you want your way. Shoppers, all things John Deere.
Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the medical center, the museum district, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the medical center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the Doubletree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Howdy Homemade Ice Cream is here. Howdy is an ice cream shop in Katy, Texas that makes ice cream in-house and has a unique mission to employ individuals that are differently abled. Stop by and enjoy some ice cream. With every scoop you buy, you help support employment for special needs. Coming to Rice Athletics venues in the fall.
Houston, We have a cocktail. All Hands canned cocktails are made with 6 times distilled craft vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classic. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself at the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The Parking Spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Highlighting the Owls on the gridiron. Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show.
Welcome back on the Mike Bloomgren Show again every Monday night of a game week. Our next show 2 weeks from tonight. And right now we have the starting of the cornerbacks turnstile here. The one and only Jordan Dunbar. JD, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I cannot complain one bit whatsoever. So where Coach kind of ended, I wanted to lead off with you. Just your unit. Discuss from your. I mean, you're going through the snaps, the reps. You're hitting guys. You're knocking down passes. So, what have you thought about the unit? Not just your play too, but just the unit's play this season. What have you thought?
Well, I think this year is a lot different. Last year, like we're playing with a lot of energy overall. Like really trusting Coach Smith's schemes and everything. Like physicality is really increased. So, really just proud of everybody and how they've been doing.
Your favorite moment of the year so far? Was it like a post-game victory thing or walking out at the Coliseum, or what was it?
Probably post-game versus Louisiana, snapping their streak. That was really fun.
Yeah. And what about at Rice so far to see this grow to what it has now? How's that been? Because this is your third year.
Third year.
Correct, right? So what's that been like?
It's really crazy this year. Like I feel everybody buying in, and just like the energy is just so much different. So like I feel like we just got to keep pushing and it's just going to come.
Yeah. Big body. You don't see corners as built, almost like a linebacker, and as tall as you are. So I know we're going to get into some great family history in a second here, but always played corner, or when did you pick that up?
Man, like sophomore year of high school, really, like I started off at receiver my freshman year. Like my hands were a little suspect, so I kind of had to switch. Sophomore year, I did a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner, and corner I was just more comfortable at, so I just stuck with it.
So the stereotype's true here. If you got the athlete, just if they don't have the best hands, all right, come on, like what's the?
I mean, I feel like I just got to lock in. Like I'm gonna catch one and it's gonna look good.
Yeah,
I just gotta wait for my time for that.
I like that. What are you studying? What are you doing here at Rice?
So I'm a business major, so just gotta keep going hard with that. And when football's over, I might go to law school.
Nice. What class or two? Any favorite professor or two that you like? Since this is third year, you kind of know your way around campus, obviously by now.
I don't know about a favorite professor, but just overall, I just work hard at school. That's all I got to leave it with.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, though.
Yeah. But you're being a little modest. You come from a great family history. Both your parents were college athletes. Your mom ran track at Harvard. So how's that been? Like, and you had a cousin that played in the NFL a long time, too. So family tradition, it runs with the Dunbars, doesn't it?
Yeah, my mom really, like, she doesn't want to see me get burned because she's a track athlete. So she's on me about that speed. My dad played basketball, so he doesn't want to see anybody just go catch it over me because, like, getting a rebound. So, yeah, really a competitive family, I'll say.
I don't know you well enough to know this or not yet, but are you like basketball players? They can talk some trash. Is that like, do you get that from your dad and some other athleticism from your mom?
I feel like Sean is like the talk of the group. Me, I don't really talk that much. I just go out there and play. So, like, my dad used to talk a lot, but me, not really.
Strong, silent type, right?
Yeah, just play.
Yeah, I like that. So how do you end up from the big Terrytown, New York, which actually is right, it's near the city, as you're educating me on the geography beforehand. Discuss your path to Rice and what led you here.
Man, I have no idea how they found me is what I will say. They did a good job recruiting because I'm way up north. But I just remember Coach Wiltshire, like, one day, like, he just called me and he tried to get me to come to camp. I didn't really think they were recruiting me that hard, so I was like, man, I'll think about it. And then Coach Smith came to, like, one of my practices, and, like, he just watched me practice for, like, 45 minutes to an hour. And he said, like, yeah, we're really interested. Like, I think we're going to offer you. And like when I did my research on it, we had a kid that from my high school, Derek Ferraro, who was currently at Rice. I asked him about it and just like the opportunity in the FBS football. I was like, man, like that's the best thing I got right now. So I for sure gotta go visit.
All right, so Josh Piercy was sitting in that chair last week. I asked him this. He's from the Philly, New Jersey area. So when you come from New York, essentially the city, down here to Texas, was it kind of like a lot of what you're expecting, or was it a lot different than what you? I want to hear your reaction there.
Definitely like a rough patch when I first got here because like I didn't really know what to expect of Texas, like, and especially Houston, because like I'm not sure if I was expecting country or like city vibes, but like once I got my feet wet and like my old roommate Kobe Campbell did like a great job like getting me used to it. So definitely as it like continue got a lot smoother.
So favorite part of Houston, like the food, the people, just obviously pretty big. I don't expect you to be on all parts of it.
Man, like one thing I started liking that I did down here is like I started going to some Rockets games, so that was pretty fun. Like that, I really want to catch an Astros game. So just seeing like professional sports, like we got a lot of sports teams in New York, but like I wasn't going to like Giants games or Knicks games really that much. So that's been pretty cool down here.
So Bills fan, growing up, do you have like a favorite corner or somebody, maybe even another team? Like, hey, I like that guy's game. I can pick up the hip move.
Yeah. So like from a bigger corner, like who I like to watch, who's like physical and everything, I'll probably say Jalen Ramsey. But like
he's
I like Tre'Davious White because he's on the Bills though, so gotta rock with the team.
Okay. What's it? You mentioned going to USC, and that was big, and you guys have played against some really good receivers, as Coach was saying. What's been the biggest challenge? But knowing you guys and your position type over the years, you're not going to back down. It doesn't matter who's out there. So how's that been for you?
Definitely been exciting this year because last year, like I felt we played some really good receivers too, but this year I was like excited just to get to see them again. I'll give the UH guys credit; they were really good, but I feel like the mindset Sean and I got, like, it doesn't matter who's out there. Like, we're ready to go.
So one of my favorite things, more so in the NFL, you see it than college, are those behind, like, the mic'd up scenes. And like we were saying, it's like a trash talking type of game. You ever heard something like, oh, man, I need to remember that one? I'm not saying to name who it was, because you sound like you're not going to return fire too much, but you hear some good
I will if I have to, but I'm trying to think. Man, that might be last year. UH had some choice words last year. UTSA especially, they can get a little creative. So probably those two, but especially UTSA. Now I think of it, I can't remember or probably can't even repeat the things they say. But I was like, oh wow,
Well, that's funny because that goes perfectly to my next question. At your position, you've got to have that goldfish type memory. We always hear how. Is that an easier thing once you kind of know, just play by play by play, and how tough of it if you do give up a big gain to not focus on that so much?
I think that's something I really improved on once I got to college, because in high school, especially me being up north, the competition wasn't the same, so I never got going on. So like I always have that mentality. Like when I walk out there, I'm like, I don't want to let up one catch. Now I'm trying to see, like Coach Bloom says, the goldfish memory. So it's like something bad happens, you got to be like, all right, next play, because that next play might be a play you make.
Mm-hmm. All right, tell us some more about Sean. Equal Fire, him coming back to you. You already mentioned he's the talker. So what's something else we might not know about him?
Sean, shoot, I'm trying to think. You guys know about his speed, know about his dynamic returner. Pound per pound, he definitely is probably one of the hardest hitters we got.
Okay.
I'm trying to think from like just an interesting standpoint. Like you already know he's a Packers fan, which is like that's a little random.
Yeah, I'm going to give him that coming up in a second.
So that's probably the one fun fact about him I'll say is he's a Packers fan from Austin.
So you're a good neutral observer. You're telling me you line up Sean, and I'm saying this right in front of him, Cam Montgomery, Kobe Campbell. Who's winning that foot race there?
It's hard because I like all three of them, but with Sean and Kobe, like I'm close with them, so I'm like those really my guys. But I've seen them race. I won't talk about the result. He'll tell you, but that's all I'm gonna say is they've raced. So Sean will tell you who won, but they've raced.
Come on, y'all are putting everything on social media these days. We don't have documented proof of this or anything? Or?
Man, it might be on video because we got Play Wide and JoJo G that day. But that one with Sean and Kobe, I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, great getting to talk to you. Go enjoy that. Great. They don't have seafood like this in New York, Jordan, so you got to savor it, okay?
Got you. Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Jordan Dunbar, JD, joining us here at the high table. Back at Acme Oyster House, we'll talk to his position and teammate, obviously, Sean Fresh, back at Acme Oyster House. More of the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the Talking Spokes Oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. You know, we oysters like our beds. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Hey, it's JP here to tell you that, yes, there's more Rice Owls content out there for you to consume. Subscribe and download the official podcast of Rice Athletics, Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls Insider provides a unique new look at a variety of head coaches, players, and other integral voices inside the Rice Athletics department. Plus, you can find archived coaches shows as well. For the best in Rice Owls content, subscribe to Rice Owls Insider, the official podcast of Rice Athletics. Available on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Acme Oyster House. Here again, the voice of the Owls, JP Heath.
You know it back here at Acme Oyster House. They have an amazing open setting here with all the TVs. They got great po' boys on the menu, great seafood and all. And joined now by a number one on your Rice Owls roster, Sean Fresh. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Nice to see everybody here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know it's tough on a school night, so to speak. Like I led off with Mr. Dunbar, your play this season. I know sometimes different guys can be their own toughest critic, but what have you thought about your play and the unit's play this year?
I mean, as a unit, we're all playing really good. You know, as me and JD, we're holding it down on the back end. You know, you got guys like George Nyqual and Gabe Taylor, and really just as a whole unit, we're trusting Coach Smith's schemes, and we're just flying around. We're just having fun. And like to grade myself, I'm pretty tough on myself. Like you said, my dad's been tough on me my whole life. So like to grade myself, I'd say I'm doing a pretty decent job this season. Looking to do better things, you know, on the back end at the stretch of the season.
Yeah, and while I don't know him, I could see where he's going. Like, you just don't want to get too comfortable, do you? As you get older, you understand more of that tough coaching and whatnot?
For sure, yeah. Like I said, my dad's been really tough on me my whole life, so that's where I get it from. You know, I'm pretty hard on myself, but, you know, not too hard on myself where I'm, you know, pressuring myself too much or stressing out too much. Just go out there and play my game, trusting, you know what I'm saying, my teammates, trusting my coaches. And, you know, it's just having fun.
Yeah. So you've had special teams impact late last season, early in this season. Is that a tough thing to juggle, or is it like, hey, once you go off from the DB side, you can immediately switch focus? Is that?
Well, so I mean, I've been doing special teams and defense and offense, and I mean every unit of football since I was young. You know, I've been doing punt return, kick return, kickoff, punt, field goal block. So when I got to college, the speed of the game changed, but nothing I couldn't handle. So once I get off, like punt return, for example, this season, once, we get a stop on third down and I go back there for the punt return, I'm fully locked in on the punt return and what I have to do in my, my job and what I have to, regulate for, my team.
Yeah. It's funny you say speed of the game because next on my notes, I look back to what you told me over the summer. You're like, you thought you played too fast early on in your career. But even for a fast guy, has it slowed down a bit since? I mean, your third year go around, has it obviously slowed down a bit since then?
Oh no, you're definitely right. So like my freshman year, I was just, like I'm saying, getting a little bit adjusted to the speed of the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pretty quick guy, so I tend to move a little fast sometimes. And it's just getting this experience under my belt. These couple years, and just steady watching film, crafting myself, critiquing myself. The game slowed down a lot, and I'm feeling more comfortable as I go.
Your favorite moment so far this season and in your Rice career, what's that been? As the build has been coming here and really improved a lot these last few years.
Well, like my as the season went on last season, there was plenty of fun games that I played in, but versus Arkansas, I had an interception, so
that's right.
That was the best moment of my career. This season, like JD's mentioned, playing Louisiana Lafayette and winning that game and breaking their streak, that was really fun. That celebration we had in the locker room afterwards, it was just, it was really fun.
Sport management major. You also told me over the summer Professor Stallings has been big with your influence. What do you like about that? And obviously you want to play football for a long time, but what has that taught you about the other side, not just on the field, but a lot of stuff off the field too?
Professor Stallings was great. I mean, he pushed me so hard. He pushed me so much. I never had a professor or teacher push me as hard as he did and, be as real and truthful as he did, making me realize like I won't be playing football forever. And I'll try to go as far as I can, but once football is over, what am I going to do after that? And he's really inspired me a lot. And I look up to that man actually, because like I said, he's pushed me a lot. I've never had a teacher or professor do that for me, so he's helped me a lot this summer semester actually. So I look up to him a lot.
You come from a great program, Austin LBJ State. You told me this over the summer, but I already forgot. I guess I could have looked it up. But state finalist 2 years ago, or
2 years ago.
Yeah,
2 seasons ago. Yeah, they did pretty good last season.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they went to state last season.
Okay.
2 years before that, they got close. But like I say, Coach Fenner is doing a great job there. One of the best coaches I've had. So they're doing a great job there.
So for any out-of-staters that could be watching / listening, kind of articulate the craziness of Texas high school football. I'm biased. You are talking with a lover of not just the sport, but just how great Texas high school football is. And you come from that Mecca, that area of the state that's great too.
All right. Like they say, everything's bigger in Texas. So, for example, football is bigger in Texas. The stadiums are bigger. The teams are bigger. The players are bigger. Everything about it is just bigger. And like I said, I think Texas football is the best in the whole country.
Obviously. You got that, Jordan? Yes. Yeah, I know. I get brave when he gets over there.
He won't deny it.
But at LBJ, I mean, that was 5A, right? But y'all still had that's a pretty good district.
Yeah, when I was there, we were 5A, and it was a pretty good district game. Once we got to playoffs, even better teams, that they end up going to 4A. Now they're back at 5A this season.
Yeah. But I remember you being candid telling me that you had a lot of options. Army was one too,
yes,
but you wanted to stay close with the combination of the academics. But why Rice when it came down to it a few years ago?
I mean, honestly, it's crazy. It just kind of felt like it was this. I'm going to tell y'all a story. Like my mom. So when I was in middle school, from the time I got to elementary school, actually all the way to high school, I had taken many field trips to Rice University. Like before I even committed to Rice University, I had taken at least 4 or 5 field trips to Rice. Because obviously it's in Houston, too far from Austin, great school. And my mom, I took one visit in middle school. I stood up on this podium where I forget what it was, but I guess someone famous had spoke at this podium. And my mom took a picture, and she said, like, this is the school that you're going to go to. This is a middle school. She's like, this is the school you're going to go to? And I denied it. I was like, I don't know, Mom, And then it ended up happening. So it felt like it was destined. So. Nice. It feels great to be like it's a great school. Once I got the offer, I could see that Rice was building something great here, building something special here, and like I said, it was just destined.
What have you learned most about yourself since coming here?
Man, so my freshman year, I learned a lot about myself. When I was in high school, I tend to rely on my mom. To stay on me about my grades and stay on me about, a lot of stuff with my parents. But once I got to Rice, I was on my own. We stayed in a hotel. We didn't stay in the dorms. I got here in 2020. So I learned a lot about myself. I had to fight through a lot of adversity. So it was a little tough, but I transitioned pretty well. And now I'm getting, real comfortable. And I just got to keep going.
Yeah. All right, so let's settle it. As Jordan was very political. Yeah, you're going to be a senator someday, Jordan, with his answer. You got you're telling me you, Kobe Campbell, Cam, and I'm probably leaving somebody out, but you're winning that foot race?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Like, no question about it.
Do we have proof?
Yeah.
Is it documented? Do we have it timed? Like, you can say this, but we need some kind of backup. I mean,
Now, look, I'm not going to put my boy Kobe Campbell on the spot or anything. JD kind of already did, but we raced. There's video proof. I won. I don't think that video should be, put out here or anything like that, but I did win.
Okay. What's your 40 time?
I haven't checked in a while, but one of the things that people don't know about me is when I got the offer, I came to 2 rice camps in high school. I came to a rice camp in the summer, and I ran a pretty good 40 time. I think it was a 4.3, high 4.3. And Coach Bloom ended up calling me, and my dad, Mike Kershaw ended up calling us, telling us that Mike Bloomgren wanted us to come back for another camp. I think it was the next week after I just left the camp, and I ran another good 40 time. And yeah, so it was about high 4.3.
All right. See that proof, though. No, I believe. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank you for having
it.
me.
You got the great viewers in there as well, too, up for Mr. Fresh. Stay tuned. Coming back next, we'll talk to his position coach, Gerard Wiltshire, will join us next here back at Acme Oyster House. More of the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Buy the best for less at Shoppers. Shoppers has the lowest prices on John Deere tractors. Don't leave money on the table with the best tractor at the best prices of the year. Shoppers makes it so easy with just a few clicks at our website. We dare you to compare. Go see our specials by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. Build the tractor package of your dreams with our Build It, Price It, Own It tool. And we'll deliver your John Deere tractor for free. The best for less at Shoppers, all things John Deere.
Houston, we have a cocktail. All Hands Canned Cocktails are made with 6 times distilled craft vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classic. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself for the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The parking spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
We interrupt your top 40 hits to issue this alert from the Karbach Brewing Company. In our efforts to brew our distinct and popular Hopadillo IPA, we have unwittingly created a monster. A monster with an insatiable thirst. A monster that will not stop until it gets what it wants. An ice-cold Hopadillo IPA. Just like the one I'm holding in my hand. Bold, flavorful, dry-hopped, irresistible. Sweet Mary! Hopadillo. Find it before it finds you. Bravely brewed in Texas by the Karbach Brewing Company.
Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Oh, hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com for Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now, let's go back inside Acme Oyster House.
Stay tuned. Next segment, we will preview those UAB Blazers and Coach Brian Vincent. But now, cornerbacks coach Gerard Wiltshire joins us. Finally, Coach, we are reunited. First time in like 3 years. Nate's hogged the other interviews.
I know. I'm excited. I actually thought you was kind of hiding from me. But I'm very excited.
No. Discuss, like I've asked for them, but a different perspective totally. What you've seen, not just from Sean and Jordan, but the unit has been very consistent this year.
Yeah. One exciting thing is both those guys had about 700 snaps last year. And when you play college football, nothing beats real experience. Practice is great, and practice helps you prepare, but those live reps against somebody else is really what helps you prepare. So they both had 700. I think they truly understand the defense, and then this year we can have really high-level conversations in the secondary, which is exciting.
And so much of it goes with the defensive line, what Coach Calhoun's doing too. Explain that relationship, how, I mean, most folks know that watching a game, but just how that makes the D-line look better and the D-line can make you look better.
Well, it's one thing that Coach Smith says, rush and coverage go together. So when they're rushing well, we're covering well. When we're covering well, it gives them time to get to the quarterback. So those two things really work together. And, as long as everybody does their 111, then we're in great shape.
We've seen some other guys this year too, Lamont Narcisse, and I know discuss the rest of the guys though in the unit, how they haven't played as much, but you still got a deep unit out there.
Yeah, it's a really competitive, fun unit. Like you mentioned, Lamont, he's done a great job playing some nickel snaps. JoJo Jean has had a few nickel snaps in the game. Miles McCord, he started some for us over the last 2 years. He's still in the room. Then, Trayshawn DeVones, we're slowly working him back into the mix. So, right now that's 6 guys that can flat out play that I'm excited about. We go to work every day and, sometimes some guys got to go to scout team, but it's just part of the process. Every snap gets you better.
Is the position still the position after the game's changed so much, emphasis mostly on throwing with some of the rule changes benefiting the offense for the most part, but has that changed anything that you teach and coach on a day-to-day basis?
No, not really. at the end of the day, we got to cover them. No matter what happens, it's our job to cover and get that D-line a chance to get there. So by hook or crook, we'll figure out how to get it done.
And like Coach mentioned, and they mentioned their segments, you've got to get some really good receiving cores. So, and like you told me very quickly last week going against Dell, it seems like every week you've got a great receiving core going again. So is it just about taking it week by week and then obviously the different nuances in the scouting report?
Yeah, definitely. We never look ahead. It's who's up next. Honestly, I really didn't realize we was playing UAB till we finished with Houston. That's not important. We have to take care of the task at hand, stay focused on those guys. And I thought, they did a pretty good job at Houston. The thing that sometimes you don't understand as a young player, but you understand as a coach, is when another team pays you a compliment, like they lined up in a bunch of stacks to hide their best receivers to keep them away from us.
Oh, really?
We in the room say, y'all don't want to play ball, y'all want to hide. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll adjust and we'll do what we have to do. But and then late in the game, we started getting a lot of the double moves. Again, they couldn't get away from us, so they had to figure out ways to get away. And that's just the chess game inside the football game, but you got to play it and you got to understand it. And that's things we're constantly talking about on the sideline that the average fan doesn't see.
Yeah. You coach the goldfish mentality. Coach says it all the time. You just heard them talking about it too. But in the heat of the moment, is that tough sometimes to do, or is it an easier thing to do because of the coaching and drilling it into that mentality?
No, it's tough. The hardest thing is, we want to stop everything. If it's a hitch, we want to win. If it's a curl, we want to win. If it's a go ball, we want to win. So you want to win at everything. But sometimes, like I tell my wife, the other team, they practice. They want to win too. So, they're going to try and do things to get away from us. But, hopefully at the end of the day, we will have done more than them.
Coach in his segment I was asking him from his perspective, your story. So give your perspective from your story coming to Rice. It's been 5 years now, and how not only have you seen the unit grow and the defense grow and the team grow, but what have you liked about Rice and how'd you get here?
Well, first, working with Brian Smith, having coached him, awesome, and we just kept a relationship over the years. And then, like you mentioned earlier, I recruited and coached Cedric Calhoun. So when I walked into my interview, I think we kind of shocked Coach Bloomgren that I knew so many people in the room. And time Pete Limbo was here, I had worked for Pete Limbo at Lehigh. So to me, it was a natural fit. I just needed Coach Bloom to say yes. It's like getting married. You need her to say yes too.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Coach Calhoun, the same back then, and was Coach Smith the same back then? Obviously, people change, but
no, they're the same.
Okay.
They're the same people. Coach Calhoun is Coach Calhoun, and Coach Smith has that quiet intensity. But no, they're the same.
What encourages you about what you've seen so far with so much of the season, over half the season left to go? What are the confidence in your position group? What have you liked about the season to come too?
Well, I think that we have played some really, really tough competition. which prepares you for everybody. I'm not sure we're going to see a better crew of wide receivers than we've seen at Houston and at USC, and that's no disrespect to anybody who we're going to play in the future, but that's two groups that's pretty darn good. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a better group. We may see some talented individuals, and we'll game plan and we'll take care of them when we meet that challenge. But, it doesn't matter who shows up. I'm going to show my age. It could be Jerry Rice out there. We got to stop him. It doesn't make a difference, So we're just going to line up and play ball.
Best corner of all time is?
The best corner of all time.
Or top couple. I won't.
Well, I'll say this. The best corner of all time is still, to me, Deion.
There you go.
However,
correct answer.
I will say the best tandem of corners, I'm going to go way back. My personal favorite, Cleveland Browns, when they had Minifield and Dixon, because they was both like 5'9", 5'10", and they wore like bath towels that hung off. And so when I played, I tried to wear those. But those two were very, very good. But I think you probably got to be about 50 to remember those dudes. But that was a great tandem. And I tell you what, that secondary, when Deion went to Baltimore with Darrell Green and those guys, that secondary was unbelievable.
Because Deion moved to safety, right? Some of that.
Yeah, he was like playing nickel and you had Darrell Green as the dime. Who wouldn't want to coach those guys? It's like, what do you want to do? Okay, that's fine. We'll do that.
Yeah. So the players make the coaches look pretty good.
Definitely.
Hey, thanks for the time. I'm going to brag to Nate. I got you this season. Even though he's filling in later in the year. Hey, you can come back if you want, but I got you.
I appreciate
it. Gerard Wiltshire joining us here. Back at Acme Oyster House. More. Wrap it up. The Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics. Howdy Homemade Ice Cream is here. Howdy is an ice cream shop in Katy, Texas that makes ice cream in-house and has a unique mission to employ individuals that are differently abled. Stop by and enjoy some ice cream. With every scoop you buy, you help support employment for special needs. Coming to Rice Athletics venues in the fall.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the talking spokes oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen this on TV. My friend Oscar is sleeping. We oysters like our beds. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Hey, it's JP here to tell you that, yes, there's more Rice Owls content out there for you to consume. Subscribe and download the official podcast of Rice Athletics, Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls Insider provides a unique new look at a variety of head coaches, players, and other integral voices inside the Rice Athletics department. Plus, you can find archived coaches shows as well. For the best in Rice Owls content, subscribe to Rice Owls Insider, the official podcast of Rice Athletics. Available on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Highlighting the Owls on the gridiron. Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show.
Back at the Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House. The blue and gray taking on the UAB Blazers coming up this week. Another Saturday night affair. Be a little bit cooler on that one, Coach. Interim head coach Bryant Vinson for a friend of yours, Bill Clark. First off, health-wise, if you talked to him, how is he doing? First, I didn't know he had to step down in the offseason because of some severe back issues.
Yeah, Bill ended up having a couple of back surgeries. Everything sounds like it's going well. I actually haven't talked to him lately. I need to check in with him. But what a great coach and what a great program he built there. And, Bryant Vinson was a big part of it. He was always his offensive coordinator since he's been back. And, has done a really good job there. And, those guys were together back in the day with Coach Mack, Jerry Mack at South Alabama back in 2010. So it's been really neat to follow all their careers and see all those guys end up back at UAB together. Certainly thinking of Coach Clark and But again, always impressed with what he built there.
And I'm prefacing it, I'll probably ask you the same question tomorrow, but with that huge win last year, and I read it from Coach Vincent in his press conference this morning, obviously huge win last year, expect them coming to your place, they would love nothing more than a return the favor, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's the way this thing goes. And it was a huge win for our program. I know it was not how they wanted it to go last year when we went up there and gave them their first loss in their home stadium since they came back to Conference USA. I get that. But that's going to have nothing to do with this year's game. This game is going to be all about the 22 Rice Owls versus the 22 UAB Blazers. And although that game kind of propelled us and gave us a little confidence in this offseason, it isn't going to matter this Saturday. It's going to be about our prep and our team. And we're the ones that are going to control it. And I can't wait.
On offense, veteran quarterback, but also Dwayne McBride, won Conference USA Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. My comment, not coaches, when TJ McMahon should have won it for the ULA game. But anyway, passive-aggressive shot there. But Dwayne McBride, 400 yards rushing in 2 games. Wow, what a running back he is.
Yeah, he's so impressive. Both of those backs, like when you talk about Dwayne McBride as well as Jermaine Brown, the way that they run their zone scheme, and it's like the old Alex Gibbs Denver Broncos. It's stretch, puncture. It's like one step north. And they do such a good job, and that whole offensive line is back. So it's going to be a great challenge. And we know historically UAB is going to take those shots. They're going to try to test Sean. They're going to try to test JD down the field. We got to do a great job with our eye discipline and our communication to make sure those shots don't land.
And on defense, Noah Wilder won the Defensive Player of the Week the last week that they played. What's he do on defense? They also got Fish McWilliams, a great defensive lineman for them.
Yeah, I feel like Noah Wilder has been there forever,
yes.
like several lifetimes at UAB. But he's their leading tackler now, and it's not close. He's number 50 right in there, seemingly involved in every tackle. So he does a good job in the box, and he runs things down as well. So a guy that's got a ton of experience in this conference, a guy that we know and have played a lot. And, it's just going to be a good back and forth. I can't wait to see Jerry Johnson and some of our running backs feed him their pads on Saturday.
And the Salute to Service game. We want all folks out there to pay their respects. We have some great things going on in the pregame to attribute our great military. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, JP.
Dunleavy family and football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Thanks to Coach Wiltshire joining us. Sean Fresh, Jordan Dunbar. Thanks to Walter Engineering, Ashley back at the studio. And thanks to our great folks here at Acme Oyster House. Back in 2 weeks, Monday of that FAU game week. Go Owls, Rice fight. We'll talk to you coming up Saturday, Rice and UAB. This has been the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.